What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my review of the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. Now I'm really excited about this phone because it's really offering us a ton of value, and especially compared to the predecessor model that was launched about a year ago, we're getting a lot of major improvements and new features here with this device. And of course, I'm looking forward to showing you everything there is to know about this phone here in this video. Now, if you do decide to buy this phone, there are multiple options to get it. For example, you can go the carrier route, or you can buy the phone factory unlocked. Now, the benefit of it being factory unlocked, of course, is that you can use it with any carrier you're choosing. But on the other hand, if you do want to go with a specific carrier, you can save a lot of money on this device in comparison. So for example, this phone has an MSRP of $399, but then if you want to head to a carrier such as Metro by T-Mobile, they're actually offering this phone for free right now if you're porting in from a different carrier. And then with the new line, you can get this phone for just $29.99. So the point is that if you do want to get the phone through a carrier, you don't get as much flexibility, but you are definitely going to save a lot of money compared to buying it factory unlocked. Also keep in mind that if you do get the phone through a carrier, in most situations, they are offering it with half the amount of storage at 128 gigabytes compared to the full 256 gigs that you'd get with the factory unlocked model of it. So just something to consider there, but the good thing is about this device is that most people will not be paying much for it. But let's see what comes included here in the box. So here's the box. You can see right there the name of the phone, and it is indeed 2024. This is a slim box, and the reason for that is because there is no USB wall adapter included, which is a bit unfortunate. But let's open this up and see what we're getting. And you can see it is plastic-free packaging, which is pretty cool. And then a layer down here, we have this packet. And then in the actual packet here, we have a double-sided USB-C cable for charging and data transfer, and we have some literature. Keep in mind though that if you are supplying your own USB wall adapter, you are going to have to make sure that it is compatible with up to 30 watt fast charging, which is the maximum charging speed of this device. Typically with USB chargers, and especially the lower end ones, they tend to recharge at 5 watts or 10 watts. So the point is that if you pair up one of those chargers with this device, the phone will actually be charging very slowly. And that's especially relevant because we're getting such a large battery here at 5,000 milliamp hours. So you might have to go out and spend a little bit of money to get a really nice, high quality fast charger, but trust me, it will be very worth it here with your Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. Now, one of my favorite things about this device this generation is the new and improved display. So this time around, we're getting a 6.7-inch OLED display, and it features a 120Hz refresh rate. So that fast refresh rate is great. We also had that with the predecessor, but getting OLED this time around really makes a big difference. I'm sure you can already tell through this video how much the colors pop here and how great the viewing angles are as well. And overall, this really fantastic OLED display really makes this phone feel a lot more premium than it even is. Honestly, this phone feels like it could be double or even triple the price than what I actually paid for it, and it just looks really nice, and that's pretty much all thanks to the display here. But again, you can see how bright the colors are. It just looks fantastic. Of course, having a great display like this one is really good for watching video content, looking at photos, going on social media. All those various things are going to be much better due to this better looking display. And in addition to that, the resolution here is 1080p. We're getting a PPI of 395, a 20:9 aspect ratio, so a more narrow but taller form factor, and we're getting an 88.2% screen to body ratio. So the bezels on the sides are a little bit thinner than the top and bottom, but you can see overall the bezels in general are very small here on this device. And that's certainly a very good thing for many reasons, but one of them is that you're getting the most amount of screen real estate here in the smallest form factor possible. Now, because this phone has a built-in stylus, which I'll talk about a little bit more later on in the video, it makes this especially nice to have such a big display here because you're getting a really large canvas for writing notes, doing drawings, and really doing anything else here on the device. You certainly wouldn't want to have a stylus-equipped smartphone and then have the display be like half the size of what it is. It would certainly be a major problem. So having this big display here on the G Stylus 5G 2024 really makes this phone even more worth it. Now up top here on the device, you can see there's a hole punch for the front-facing camera, and that front camera is 16 megapixels. Now stay tuned for later on in the video, as I'll be showing you photo and video samples from all the various cameras here on the phone, but just letting you know in advance, I'm actually very impressed with the quality. Now with this device, as I mentioned earlier, it is available in multiple storage configurations, and especially if you go the prepaid route for it, you are going to be getting 128 gigabytes, but if you do buy the phone factory unlocked, it will come with 256 gigabytes. Now as I mentioned earlier in the video, there are multiple storage configurations available for this device. If you do decide to go the prepaid route, you will be getting it in 128 gigabytes, but if you do get the phone factory unlocked, it will be coming with double that at 256. Now thankfully, both configurations of this device do offer microSD card expansion, so you can always add in a microSD card and offload some of your various photos and videos to free up some of that internal space. So that's certainly a nice thing, but I think overall, everybody likes to have a lot of internal space on the phone, so SD card expansion is a nice bonus, but at least with either 128 or 256, you're still getting a lot of storage here with the phone. Now another nice surprise with this device is that we're actually getting wireless charging. And not only are we getting wireless charging here in the back, but it's also 15 watts. So if you put the phone on a wireless charging pad, it'll immediately begin recharging. I know for myself, that's a feature I use quite a bit with any phone that supports it, so I'm really glad to see that is offered here with the G Stylus 5G 2024. Now with this device, we are getting face unlock, and in addition to that, we're getting an in-display fingerprint sensor, and it works really well. It's nice and fast and responsive, as you can see right there. We'll try it again. So that's super reliable, so I'm definitely a big fan of that implementation. Overall, I just feel like they're packing this phone full of premium, almost flagship level features, and I'm definitely a fan of that. Now taking a look at the cameras on this device, we have a dual camera setup on the back of the phone. We're getting a 50 megapixel main camera and also a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And then here's how things look in the camera app on the device. This is the main rear camera right now. Then from here, we can go over to 0.5 to access the ultra wide camera. And then with that, we can fit a lot more content into a single frame here. You can also see there's this icon here resembling a flower. That's actually the macro mode, but for this smartphone, there is no dedicated macro camera, so it's actually using the other cameras to pretty much simulate that mode. So it works pretty well in general, but overall, I do prefer the ultra wide and main cameras in their regular form factor here. What's also nice too is that this phone does have a 50 megapixel rear camera. So if you go down here to the More tab, you can actually select Ultra Res. And then with Ultra Res, you can then take a photo, and then the resolution will be way higher because it's actually capturing the image in 50 megapixels. Whoops, that's a different photo. Here we go. So you can see as a result of that, I can zoom in and things are really in good detail here. We can also flip around to the front-facing camera. There's me right there. We can also do portrait selfies, which is great. Of course, portrait mode with the rear camera as well. And then also there's the option for group selfies, which is good too. Now over here in video mode, we're actually getting the option for 4K video with both the front and rear cameras. So that's certainly great if you're a videographer. Now internally with this device, we're getting 8 gigabytes of RAM paired up with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 processor. Now overall, I feel like that's actually a really good configuration. This phone runs very quickly. That's certainly not been a problem. Even from the initial setup of this device, everything was super smooth. It certainly does not feel like a mid-range or lower-end Android smartphone, and for a really good reason, because it is very fast. So I would say for most people out here, the phone will be plenty fast. Certainly no problems there when it comes to the speed. Of course, combining that with a faster refresh rate here on the display makes things even better. So in general, I think it's a great configuration. Now, I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 6, and I'll show you the scores I got from that test right now. So I got a single core score of 924 and a multi-core score of 2794. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your scores to these scores to see how the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024 compares to what you currently have. But in general, like I said, these scores should reflect pretty fast speeds because that's been my experience with the phone, and I'm definitely curious to know what your current scores are on the device that you currently have. But who knows, maybe the phone you have right now actually is faster than this device, and if that's the case, certainly you should not upgrade. Now with this device, we're getting a 5,000 milliamp hour internal battery. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's a very large battery, and because of that, you're definitely going to want to use fast charging with this phone. Now, thankfully, it is compatible with up to 30 watt fast charging, so again, make sure to get a charger that does support that, but overall, that is a great feature here. Now, this device is running Android 14, and I'm actually a big fan of Motorola's implementation of Android. I feel like they're actually adding a lot of nice bonus features here with the device, but at the same time, keeping the software very well optimized and still sticking to the best aspects of stock Android. So they have done a really good job here with the software. This device also features NFC, so you can use the phone for tap and pay, which is great. There's also stereo speakers inside, so when you're watching video content or listening to music, you're going to be getting audio out of both the main speaker in the bottom, and then also the earpiece up top. And then the materials in the back of the device are actually what's called vegan leather. So you can see it kind of looks like leather here, and that's because it's supposed to mimic leather. But in some ways, it's actually better than leather because it almost has like a rubbery feel to it, and it's just very durable in general. I also like too that it's not picking up any fingerprints. So in general, I think that Motorola did a great job choosing this material here. So here's how things look with the main camera, and then to get to the ultra wide angle camera. So as I mentioned, this device is fantastic for watching video content, not only because that awesome display we're getting here, but also because we are getting really great stereo speakers. So this device can get very loud. The speaker quality is really good, especially for a phone in the segment. So if you are someone who likes to watch a lot of video content, then just know that you can sit back and relax with this device and you won't have to worry about anything. But let's take a look at some camera samples from the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. Now, like I mentioned earlier, with this device, we're getting a lot of different cameras here, and along with that, we're getting really good results. Now, in general, I'll let these photos speak for themselves as far as the quality goes, but I've been very happy with them. I've been really happy with the results from the various cameras here on the device, and I feel like it really does take images that are well worth keeping. Certainly, if you want to take this phone on vacation and preserve those various memories for the future, then this device will have no problem doing that. And in many ways, it's really hard to even distinguish the quality of these various images from this device versus a phone that might be double or triple the price of it. So in general, I've been very happy with the camera quality here in the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. But let's now take a look at some video samples from the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a front-facing test video from the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. This video is in 4K, by the way, so I'm definitely curious to know what you think about the video and audio quality. And here's a 4K test video using the main rear camera on the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. So this is in 4K. We have very fast autofocus in video mode, which is excellent. What's nice with this phone too is that you can actually switch to the ultra wide while you're still recording the same video clip. So let's switch that over right now. And now we're recording with the ultra wide camera. Now, one of the highlight features of this device, and hence the name of it, is the actual built-in stylus. Now, what I really appreciate though about the G Stylus 5G 2024 is that technically you could never use the stylus, and there's really no downsides with having it. It's not like it makes the phone thicker, and honestly, it really doesn't add any extra expense to this device either. So in many ways, it's really just an added bonus that we're getting here, but certainly a very useful one. Now, the stylus features a pop-out, pop-in design, and then we get this pop-up here that gives you options for writing notes and other various tasks. You can also add in third-party, stylus-friendly applications as well, and you can even use the stylus to navigate around the phone in general. So whether it's for signing documents, writing notes, drawing, really doing anything here, this stylus is a great thing to have, and it does work really well here. So I'll draw a smiley face. I feel like every time I review a stylus-equipped device, I always do this, but I'm really not much of a drawer. But you can kind of get an idea here of the precision that we're getting here with the stylus itself. And of course, there's a lot of different editing options and abilities here within the actual application. Now, it would be nice in this day and age to maybe see some more built-in AI features with this device, and especially maybe something where you can draw with the pen and then this app has AI-infused features, but it seems like at this point in 2024, despite AI being really big right now, they have not really given it any specific AI features. Actually, if you're curious on that note, not to go on a tangent here, but the only real AI feature that I found on the device is that you can go to wallpapers and then you can do made with AI, and then you can do style sync. And basically it's going to generate a wallpaper based on the photo here that you are uploading into the system. So it's generating that wallpaper right now. So this is technically an AI feature, and I wish there were more here on this device. I think that would be a great selling point, but it seems like for the most part, they just transferred a lot of the software over from the previous generation. So again, not a totally bad thing, but you can see in this example, it took the red from my shirt and created this cool pattern. Now, I haven't found this feature to always work that great. You can see this one doesn't really have anything, but then this is kind of strange. I don't know what's going on there. So it's kind of cool, kind of different, but that is one of the AI features here on the device called Made with AI. So again, I think if they gave this phone a little bit more interesting software features rather than just kind of continuing over what they gave us last year, it would kind of take this device to the next level. But in general, I wouldn't consider that critique to be any sort of deal breaker. This phone is still very capable, and I think most people will be totally happy with it. Of course, there's also plenty of third-party apps you can download that do take advantage of AI, so that's another way if you want to actually use AI here on the phone. And for the final part of the video, I want to give you a tour of the hardware. I already talked quite a bit about it though, but on the left side of the device we have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. On the right side we have volume up, volume down, and the power button. Up top here we have the noise canceling microphone. On the bottom we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, microphone, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, speaker, and the stylus. And then on the back of the device we have the dual camera setup, flash, and Motorola logo, and that's pretty much it. But this concludes my review of the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.